So I'm going to read you something that was found in the Mahasakya Sutra and the Vedhavita Sutra and several others. It's about the Buddha on the night he became awakened. When the mind was thus concentrated, purified, bright, unblemished, rid of defilement, pliant, malleable, steady, and attained to imperturbability, I directed it to the knowledge of recollecting my past lives. I recollected my manifold past lives, i.e., 1 birth, 2, 5, 10, 50, 100, 1,000, 100,000, many eons of cosmic contraction, many eons of cosmic expansion, many eons of cosmic contraction and expansion. Now this, to me, sounds suspiciously like the Big Bang and the Big Crunch theory, both of which are relevant scientific theories to this time and date. And they're based on Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity, which he came up with or published in 1916. But the Buddha said it about 2,500 years before that. This is from the Andhakara Sutra. There is, monks, an intercosmic void, an unrestrained darkness, a pitch-black darkness, where even the light of the sun and moon, so mighty, so powerful, doesn't reach. This, to me, sounds suspiciously like a black hole. And black holes are phenomena which are, again, predicted on Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity. But it was, in fact, an idea proposed in 1783 by amateur British astronomer John Michell, and independently by Frenchman Pierre-Simon Laplace in 1795. Again, Buddha talked about this 2,500 years before this. So, talk is about Buddhism and science. Buddhism has been called the science of the mind. It's been said that Buddhism isn't a religion at all, but rather a way of looking at the world. If there is an article of faith among many present-day Buddhists, it is that the more science discovers, the better scientific knowledge harmonizes with Buddhism. For example, it appears that teachings on evolution and ecology, that nothing is immutable, that life forms exist, adapt, and change because they are conditioned by environment, and other life forms fits nicely with the Buddha's teachings on dependent origination. And then we have what Buddhism teaches about scientific investigation, or just investigation of the Buddhism. Buddha says, do not go upon what has been acquired by repeated hearing, nor upon tradition, nor upon rumor, nor upon what is in a scripture, nor upon surmise, nor upon an axiom, nor upon spacious reasoning, nor upon a bias towards a notion that has been pondered over, nor upon another's seeming ability, nor upon the consideration. The monastic is our teacher. Rather, when you yourself know that these things are good, these things are not blamable, undertaken and observed, these things lead to benefit and happiness, then and only then enter into and abide in them. That fits very well with the Royal Science Academy's motto, nullius in verba, which means take nobody's word for it. His Holiness has been working with scientists since, I think, the early 1980s. Neuroscience has been interested in Buddhism since the 1980s, when the Mind and Life Institute was created by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and a team of scientists. The science that came out of these first studies gave validation to what monastics have known for years. If you train your mind, you can change your brain. As neuroscience has begun studying the mind, they have looked to those who have mastered the mind. And if you look on the bookshelves, there are numerous books on meditation and how that helps you change your mind. Isn't that what we're all about? Changing our mind so we can change our life? His Holiness the Dalai Lama said, suppose that something is definitely proven through scientific investigation, that a certain hypothesis is verified, or a certain fact emerges as a result of scientific investigation. And suppose, furthermore, that this fact is incompatible with Buddhist theory. There is no doubt that we must accept the results of the scientific research. So they go together very well, and they go together very well in many different areas of science and Buddhism, such as cosmology, quantum physics, time, interdependence, cause and effect, impermanence, emptiness, Buddhism and psychology, Darwinism and karma, quantum mechanics and the nature of reality. Buddhism and science have always been looking for what the nature of reality is. They just look at it in two different ways. Science looks at it in a material, a realistic, a rationalistic, and scientific way. Buddhism looks at it in a non-material, intuitive, and spiritual way. But they're actually two ways of understanding reality, two sides of the same coin. And in both Buddhism and science, there is a large discrepancy between how we perceive reality and how reality actually exists. So, now more than ever, Buddhists are using scientific tools, and scientists are using Buddhist wisdom to uncover the truth of the universe. However, Buddhism does not require validation by science any more than science requires validation from Buddhism. They just go together really well. After all, the historical Buddha realized enlightenment without knowledge of the string theory. Okay? So there are many books out there right now on Buddhism and science. I'll show you just a few. This is called Mind Science, an East-West Dialogue. It's about the relationship between mind and body that everybody's been asking questions for. This is from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Buddhism and Science, which is what I'm talking about. A Guide for the Perplexed. Answers questions. This one is by Donald S. Lopez, Jr., which I believe Venerable Chogyam knows. Yeah. This is The Quantum and the Lotus. Matthew Ricard and Trinh Xuan Thun is professor of astronomy at the University of Virginia. He's an astrophysicist, my favorite type. And of course, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, The Universe in a Single Atom, the Convergence of Science and Spirituality. And there's actually also a new one out that came out in September of this year called The Monastery and the Microscope. I love that name. Conversations with the Dalai Lama on mind, mindfulness, and the nature of reality. So, Buddhism and science. If you're interested in science, don't be afraid of Buddhism. If you're interested in Buddhism, don't be afraid of science. They go together really well. Check it out.